So last Thursday, more than 1,000 post office workers left their workstations and marched with a memorandum to the Public Protector's Office. According to the Communication Workers Union, the workers handed over a memorandum demanding answers of a previous investigation of alleged corruption within the parastatal. Well, joining us now in the studio is Makhosonke Mncube. He is the provincial, the Gauteng provincial secretary for the Communication Workers Union. It's good to have you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much for having us as well.
So the march to the Public Protector's Office was illegal. What made you decide to ignore the court order that prohibited you from marching?
We are a trade union that believes in the attainment of a socialist South Africa, and we do not believe that there's any bourgeois court that can dictate to us as to how do we pursue that particular perspective. And our question also is that where were these courts when workers were not paid? Where were these courts when workers have been casualized for over 15 years by the South African Post Office?
Yeah. I mean, when we go back to 2011, the Public Protector's Office actually launched a probe into what was going on and allegations of corruption at the Post Office. What do you think this investigation is going to yield?
This investigation is going to expose some people who have been caught with their hands in the cookie jar, who have crippled the South African Post Office financially. And we believe that investigation will be the base for us to lay criminal charges against those who are implicated.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we've got pretty much 4 years down the line now. Are you seeing the same things happening? Are these the same things that you're facing now?
Of course, they are the same thing that we're still facing now, and they are the same thing that led to the collapse of the South African Post Office.
And what's going to happen if, for instance, you don't get those answers that you're hoping to from the Public Protector's Office?
We do not believe that people are cleaning the South African Post Office. There are two investigations. There's one by the SIU, which is out already, but the president has not released it and has not acted upon. We marched to the government of Gauteng to demand that report must also be released, so that all those who are caught must be taken to task.
Okay, so the issues that led to this particular strike now, what are they? What are they right now?
We cannot fathom that in 60 years of the Freedom Charter, we still have casualization of workers in the South African Post Office. We're having a government that cannot pay workers and in contravention of its own contractual obligation towards its staff.
Okay, yes. So those are your real
Those are
problems.
primarily our issues, but also beyond that, we want a South African Post Office that is self-sustainable, that can operate basically without owing anybody. Yes.
Do you think that your strikes are crippling the post office and the economy? We see these on a regular basis. We do.
We want to demystify that. In actual fact, it is not workers who caused or crippled the South African Post Office. It's those who took the money. And we are left with no choice as workers. If we are not happy, we withdraw our labor.
Yeah. What, in your view, would save the post office from the crisis it's facing now?
Government must bail out the South African Post Office, but beyond that, they must also show confidence in the South African Post Office by giving it business, so that some of its letters must be delivered by the South African Post Office. That will also boost investors' confidence, who will also want to bring their business to the South African Post Office.
Where to from here? What are you going to be doing?
We have handed over our memorandum. We have given them 7 days to respond. Failure to do that, we'll be left with no choice again, in as much as we do not like disrupting the productivity of the South African Post Office, but enough is enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this would gain momentum and perhaps be a bigger portion. We saw 1,000 strikers then, but this, you could say, could go nationwide and much bigger.
Most definitely, this can go nationwide if the South African Post Office, but if they do not act, but we are hoping that they will respond positively.
All right, let's leave it there. Thank you for talking to us, updating us on what's been happening. Makhosonke Mncube is the Gauteng Provincial Secretary General for the Communication Workers Union, talking to us about the strike last Thursday by more than 1,000 post office workers. They are wanting that report from the Public Protector, and they're wanting to see corruption taken out of the post office. Thank you. 7 days to go, and we'll see what the response is.
Thank you very much for this.
Okay, let's move into some sports news.